Welcome to the LXC.
And the ranks rise up, League of Legends pride, amateurs unite in LXC.
I want to fight this. This is fine.
This is fine.
Play slow.
Oh, it's not.
Wait. Ooh, big.
Darwin. Nice.
We're blocked off.
It's fine. They're all dead. Baron.
Oh my god.
Baron.
Good ulti. Good ulti.
Good shit. Good.
Just to keep my Q stacks up.
Oh,
Okay, we gotta wait.
Run.
This is fine. I got it.
Okay, going.
Rumble.
Rumble.
Zed. They can't play there.
Okay, Baron?
Ult team, okay.
Yep.
Go. Go.
Yeah, she's dead.
Actually dead? Oh, she's not dead?
Aatrox.
It's okay, she's out of the fight.
Aatrox dead.
I'm standing in front of you guys. I'm dead.
I'm coming. Delete.
Yep, finish him off.
Battlefields we roll, towers falling full. Nexus in our grasp, we stand strong. Summoners ripped our stage, glory on this page. Push the lanes and feel the rage. LXC we play, Emerald all the way. Victory in sight, shining in the night.
Welcome, guys, and we're in for another Wednesday, another Crusader League game. We're coming in, two of the best teams in this division, fighting for first place. Cloud Gaming Blood Moon versus Bare Minimum, and honestly, I know that everybody says this. I'm excited. I just like watching League. I don't know about you, but like, I'm ready to go. But looks like we got two really talented teams. I mean, like, honestly, across the board, if you're 2-0, like in a league, you win 2 series in a row, you're usually pretty good. I mean,
You're doing something right.
You're doing something right, I mean, whether it's like, you have a recipe for winning, and so both teams feel like they kind of starting to step on that a little bit and figure themselves out as a team. And the first early games are the hardest to do that. But I mean, what to see who remains undefeated in a way, in terms of series
who
goes.
gets to claim that rank 1 for reals. By the way,
Yeah.
hey, it's Vish. I am stepping in for La La Land, who will be here shortly. He's just running late.
Hey, we're lucky to have you. I mean, first time we've casted together. I'm pretty sure I've casted Cloud Gaming before. I remember this. I think I was here last Wednesday, casting him as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe so. I can actually.
I believe
I have
so.
it right here. It was last week. Was actually Conduit Glory versus Summoners.
So it was
after
2 weeks
dark.
ago.
Yeah, so it was. They were week 1 against
They were
Divine
week
Temple.
1. That
Yes,
is correct.
yes.
I remember that now. No, I mean, look at these teams. I mean, I'm seeing two very talented teams across the board. High emeralds, low emeralds. I mean, but one thing I'm looking at is actually on this side. Let me double check. I don't want to. I'm seeing.
Don't want to say that wrong, Pax.
I don't want to say the wrong team. I'm just looking at the rosters now. Apologize, a little bit of a late start. But like on the side of Bare Minimum, they have a Platinum 4 mid laner. I mean, and rank doesn't always mean everything. It's like, I've beaten Diamond players before, but I've also lost to some Plats and some Golds. It happens. Everybody has a really good game. But when you look at the LP, it definitely, you can see the difference between a little blue rank versus the green ones. I wonder what the difference is going to be in the game. I mean, will it be fine in lane, or is there going to be on the side of like Blood Moon? Are they just going to have like a free mid lane? I mean, just because of the skill difference? That's what I'm looking to see if this platinum holds up.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
very possible. I mean, he plays a lot of mid laners that are like pretty even. I mean, I'm seeing the Ari's a lot. It's 37 games played, 51% win rate. I mean, Ari's very good at just like being neutral no matter the champ they're playing into, really. I mean, there's obviously matchups where she like suffers a little bit, but it's
Mhm.
like she has good gap close, she has good roaming, she has good wave clear, she has good everything. So she could fit in any team comp you really want. But I mean, if the enemy team wants to go, hey, you're not gonna play Ari, guy plays like Akshan, Aurora, who actually now can be played in this league. I mean, first week, so we might see some Aurora, or definitely some Aurora bans. I won't be
Yeah,
surprised.
this is the first week she's been open, and I gotta say, I don't think we've seen her
Yeah.
actually.
Well, that could be a mix of A, like you don't know, not a lot of people don't know how to play her yet, but also B, it's probably going to be banned. I mean, I personally ban her in solo queue. I don't want to deal with it because I haven't played it yet, which I'm a
Right, you
little
don't
like,
know the champion enough to let it through because you're confident enough to counter it
yeah,
or
I would much
especially
rather
against
play
me.
against
Yeah.
LeBlanc, and I hate LeBlanc very much, but then play against Aurora. But I mean,
Right, right.
eventually she'll be off the banned list. But I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe she gets slips through. She gets picked B1. I've seen both team players on both teams play it, and Aurora looks pretty good from the things I've seen. They did just nerf her today, the next patch that's going to come out. She's getting nerfed already,
Mhm.
which is interesting. But we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know if how much it's going to affect her when people haven't even learned how to play her yet. But
Right, right.
Classic Riot in classic Riot fashion. Holy, I can't speak today.
It's
But
alright.
we'll have to wait and see how broken the champion is. I mean, they still got to fix the champ order in
Yeah, yeah.
games because if you go to solo queue or anything for that matter, it's all jumbled no matter what order you pick. I don't know how that happens when you're patching champions. Be real. Um, Whoever is
I
doing
mean,
that at Riot needs to
they
stop.
do a lot of fun stuff with their patching, so, it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
Is
Doesn't
that it
surprise me.
doesn't surprise me either. It just makes me so mad that I have to reorder it myself because I'm like, oh, it's actually when the solo winners pick two champions that can be played in either role, either lane, in mid lane and
Uh-huh.
top, and I see that it's gonna be one of them's like lined up in the mid lane slot. I'm like, oh, it's like Silas mid lane. No, it's for some reason it's Silas top and Aurelia mid lane. You know what I mean? So like I can never tell. And I would like to, know what I'm gonna build. But
Mhm.
anyway, my beef with Riot can be settled another day. It's probably gonna keep happening. That's fine. Um,
Probably. That's a
but
good point.
back to the matter at hand. We have a very very good matchup here. Like you usually don't get a lot of matchups like this early in the season. Where it's like two teams 2-0. Those are the matchups you kind of wait to the end of the season for. But apparently, a
Mhm.
lot of people were really wanting to see this matchup between these two teams.
Yeah,
What I
there
was
was
hearing.
a lot of requests for this match to be played, and streamed. So here we are, and I look forward to seeing some fun stuff go down.
Definitely. I mean, like it looks like on the side of Bare Minimum, they like to play a lot of like divey champs, so like I mean champs that want to go in, want to scrap a little bit. I'm seeing like Renekton, Trundle in terms of top lane champions. They obviously aren't range champions. They like to be up in your face, but then I'm also seeing like Kaisa, Smolder coming out of their AD carry, Samira even. Like a lot of these AD carries like to go in. They kind of like to like well, Smolder probably not as much, but he
Right.
likes to like continually fight just so he can get his stacks up, get to that point where he's just and a mini Elder Drake at this point. But I'm seeing Sejuani's, Gragas, Lee Sin out of the jungle, Ari, like we talked about, Akshan likes to do the same thing, even though he's like an auto attack champ. And then Nautilus, Leona, I'm seeing some enchanters as well. I mean, definitely looks everybody likes the nice dive comp. I mean, Leona, that's why tanks are so good right now. That's why AP junglers are so good. They like to one shot, go in a one shot, and get out. I would expect a dive comp out of this team. I'll be so real. So Poppy may be on the board for the side of Blood Moon. Would not surprise me at all if Poppy is picked. I think she is. I'm surprised I'm not seeing more Poppy on this OP.GG chart,
Mhm.
which is very good. And she reflects three roles. I mean, top
Yeah,
jungle support.
we haven't really seen a lot of Poppy yet this split either, have we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No,
Even
I'm
watching
surprised.
all four of the leagues every week so
I
far,
mean, I
I
make my
don't really
support play it.
recall Poppy.
I make my support play it, and LE Valkyries. We won yesterday. Just shout out. But It's really good. It's like you can flex it, even like it's so great. I am seeing that the sport Silver Nighthawk also does play Poppy, so we
Mhm.
might see it. I'm seeing a lot of Seraphine games. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, because Seraphine is quite annoying as a champion to play against. I mean, she's so good at all stages of the game, and she has wave clear. Especially you can play her APC mid support, like, and she could do just whatever she wants. And put pair her with Ash, it's like that lane is so oppressive. So we might see some Seraphine, might see some Poppy, but I'm seeing a top lane Aurora being played by Inside T1J. So we do have one.
Okay.
But draft is coming soon. We're hearing teams are getting geared up. They're probably already talking about exactly what I'm saying right now that the Poppy is going to be picked. I'm predicting, but I mean,
Got
draft
this.
is starting. The draft is gonna be starting. I'm wondering. So we got Blood Moon's gonna be starting with blue side this time around. I mean, wondering what that first pick is gonna be like. I mean, usually it's an AD carry of some sort, unless they have like a pick that is just so like they need it. Like it's gonna be
Right,
either
right.
you wanna like if you need it, or if it's gonna take out the side from something from bare minimum. But we're seeing Kaisa and Samir both being banned out, two dive AD carries, like I was talking about, kind of trying to take away from the identity of what bare minimum likes to play, at least in terms of solo queue games. But we are seeing the Poppy ban.
Poppy Bam.
So listen, I was right. I just want to
You
point
did
that
say
out.
Poppy was gonna pop up, and there she
Pop
is, just not where we
somewhere,
wanted her.
not where we
Right.
wanted her. I mean, Poppy negates a lot of what they want to do. And in the side, in retrospect, they also banned Alistar on the side of Blood Moon. I mean, like, kind of like when you have Poppy up, Alistar's kind of hard to play because she just W's and
Mhm.
grounds him, and he's like, "Oh, well, I tried to go in. That wasn't really
Right.
allowed."
There was
And
an attempt.
there was an attempt, and then we're also seeing the Jinx and Brand, three really good bans from each team, both really tough to like play against. All six champions are very, very good right now. But we are seeing Leona as the first pick support, also very good. I mean, Leona's
Mhm.
kind of hard to counter right now because there's like either you're really just picking another tank into her usually. I mean, Milio's pretty good right now with the super flaming fireball kick that he uses, his Q, or that knocks him back. Like that could be useful, and plus the anti CC ultimate that kind of just
Right.
the big cleanse. Um, See, and
Yeah,
we do
and
see the Milio here. See, I'm on the ball. I know my supports.
yeah,
But
in Crusader, she is the number one for the pick and or
oh,
ban,
Leona,
yeah, yeah, Leona. And I believe she even made it into the intros with player clips.
that makes
So,
sense. She's very
yeah.
good. She's able to be played in multiple comps. I mean, and then we're seeing the Sejuani here. Already one of the champions that this jungler is just very confident on. I mean, the number one pick jungler in all of their games for this split, and so must be like a champion that builds Warmogs, a champion that has a bunch of CC, a champion that can play with a lot of auto attack champions, like we were seeing like the
Right.
Renekton's, like to proc Sejuani's passive, get that CC on him right away. And Trundle. Trundle's like, hey, all right, this guy right now, they're just picking a very basic comp. Leona
Right.
Caitlyn, very, very good. One CC from Leona. Caitlyn is dropping a trap, then you're CC'd for like 6 seconds. Very, very great. A
So,
lot of burst
it,
potential.
is it feeling like so far with the way they're drafting? Is it feeling like they're going in? Either team is going in for like a big I'm gonna blow you out game one and break your mental for game
I
two, or
mean,
does it feel more like a tester? Let's see how they play,
I,
see
I
what we
think
can get away with.
both teams are very, right now, I would say bare minimum is more scaly. I mean, with the Kog'Maw Milio, it's like very, very like I don't think either of them are trying to like bully them early. I mean, like bot lane, I'd probably say Caitlyn Leona's a little more aggressive early. I mean, Kog'Maw Milio have better poke per se because Milio has his Q. But
Mhm.
I would say both teams are pretty even right now in terms of what they want to do. I mean, they don't really have an identity yet. But Blood Moon likes to take towers like crazy. Trundle Caitlyn could take down towers by themselves. We're seeing two top lane bans, one from each side, the Alawi and the Camille. I mean, top lane hasn't been picked yet. I mean, besides Blood Moon picking Trundle, which is more
Mhm.
indexed towards top, but can be both Sejuani and Trundle can be both played jungle.
Yes.
So we don't exactly know where those are going yet, but both teams are like, those are junglers. You can't convince me otherwise. We're seeing Aatrox and Yone both being banned here. I mean, the classic matchup, Aatrox Yone, Yone. If you guys remember 2 worlds back, Zeus played Yone into Aatrox and won because he was like practicing a matchup, I guess. So
Uh-huh.
I don't play either of those champs, so I don't know. But 4 top lane bans in round 2. They kind of are just like, hey, top laners, you're gonna play Ornn this game. Got it? And that's it. Hopefully we don't see Ornn. We're seeing the Syndra here. They're gonna basically bare minimum is trying to call the bluff and call that flex out from Blood Moon. And they're like, hey, you're gonna show us if that Trundle is jungle or top with that pick. And Syndra's pretty good into basically anything at the moment that I think Blood Moon like wants to pick. We don't see the Ari banned yet. I'm surprised the Ari didn't get picked on the side of bare minimum. I mean, like that's the staple champ. Maybe it's just there for show. But Syndra good. And the Aurora, first pick. The Aurora making it the 4th pick is crazy.
Right.
Like I guess they just knew that Aurora wasn't going to be picked basically.
Right.
And that's actually going top for the side of T1 JC. I mean, that makes sense. And then we're seeing the Galio kind of rounding out this comp. So Aurora top, that is a Trundle jungle. I mean, bare minimum got what they wanted, but Teemo into Aurora, please. I mean, that's an interesting pick. Not something I've personally seen. Wukong also an option. I mean, kind of feeding into that dive comp a little bit. But I do feel like they get outscaled by like Aurora and Caitlyn. But the Wukong does get locked in here. I mean, definitely able to one shot Aurora. Aurora's not like she has a little bit of escape with her W, I believe it is. She has a little bit of a kickback on it. It's kind of like around the same distance as like a Caitlyn net type of situation. But she's also just she's a squishy mage. She's a squishy range top mage. I mean, Wukong definitely a pick where it has like if he gets level 1 and he wins, he might be able to abuse it for a good couple levels. So we'll have to see the spacing in terms of what Aurora is trying to do against Wukong. But Wukong also being able to go invisible is never easy to predict.
Right.
But I mean, is there a comp that speaks to you, Vish? Like, I mean, like
I'm not very good with the technical side of stuff, but I personally kind of like bare minimum's lineup better. I
okay.
like the Syndra, I like the Wukong, and I'm a huge Kog'Maw fan, so.
That's fair. I'm also a big Kog'Maw fan. I mean, I might have to just stand on the side of the new champ. I mean, like, I have Aurora, so I win. I mean, or I have Aurora, so I lose. I mean, it was like that with Smolder when he first came out. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah,
personally, if anybody picked Smolder on my team, I thought I was gonna lose. Because nobody knew how to play him. But I think Aurora, they found like a build that's been working for her, which is like the Malignance Leandries, I think it is.
Yeah.
Which is like not too bad. I mean, kind of hard to mess up Burn, to be honest with you. And he gets our ultimate up, which is huge, by the way. It's like the size of a lane. Which is like never fun to play against. It's like we'll have to see how good he plays it. Because I mean, it looked like he had played a couple games, but nothing too like eye popping. He's played 11 games at a 9% win rate, which is
Right.
that's interesting. It means he's won one game, basically.
One
Yeah, he's
game
won
is
one game.
better than 0.
That is so true. I mean, that's so true. So we'll have to see how good he is on it. He's basically picking it and being like, "You're going to be uncomfortable with me playing this." So we'll have to see how that goes. But I mean, I kind of like we're gonna say Cloud Gaming is going to take game 1 just because of Aurora. Why not, Riot? I'll throw you a bone this time around. But draft it. There are in client just getting these champions picked out here. I mean, we do see the Wukong and Sejuani. They are where we thought they were going to be. The Sejuani being jungle. I mean, you see Sejuani be top a lot. I mean, sometimes like I saw Broken Blade, a player in the LEC, like a pro top laner, playing it top, and not too bad. Because you can play it with like a Xin Zhao or a Wukong, and they could proc that Sejuani passive really quickly, just because they have a really quick like Q auto type of situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll have to see how much interaction jungle and top have with each other, because you really don't want to. If Aurora is good at kiting, which she is with her invisibility and her W kickback, you really aren't going to be spending a lot of time top.
Yeah, well, we'll see how they do and how Aurora impacts the game one way or the other.
No, but we should.
I believe we're going into break soon.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer. I mean, we're just trying to see where all these champions go. Obviously, we know where the 80 carries are going. I mean, there's only 4 champions left. So we would assume that the ADC and support are going in the ADC and support roles, unless they want to swap now. but I don't think either of these are
we
good
don't-
as
We don't
supports.
allow player swap or champion swaps once they've selected them. So
Well, not
once they
champion
lock in-
swaps, but like once they lock in, obviously.
Yeah, once they're locked in there.
Well, yeah,
There,
they're in
there.
the who's picking them. But we didn't know. There was 4
Yeah.
holes left.
It was
But
4 holes.
there was 4 holes, 4 champions. Who's to say who's picking who? But like we should be good to go for a break. I mean, like we'll be back obviously for game 1.
Obviously.
I know you guys are excited. We're excited. We're gonna be talking about some League of Legends. It's gonna be amazing. So we'll see you guys there. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Like I said, we're back. Game 1.
Welcome back.
I mean, welcome back, guys. We're excited to have you. Fish's quiet little welcome back was great. We support it. But we are seeing an invade on the top side of the map. It looks like very, very textbook. Leona getting a little close. I don't know if Wukong sees this here, but it looks like he's running away. He drops the word. He leaves. They clear the vision. Are they going for the vision here? Most likely. Looks like they're just trying to make sure that, Sejuani, we want to know where you are at the start of the game. And on the other side of the map, we see Amelia place the word inside of Cloud Gaming's red side as well. So if they, for some reason, start red, they're going to know. And it looks like we'll know when Chundo gets back. It looks like he's pinging the blue buff. He's going to start blue. Not a very, very textbook invade there. Get the vision, get out. We still have a blue ward on the chickens.
Yeah, very familiar run across the map.
Do you see a possibility of a level 1 here? Kogba and Lilia do have a better level 1. Caitlyn and Leo have the better level 2. Shield coming in. Kogma's just like, hey, I'm going to auto. We get stunned by... We see Caitlyn start traps first. The trap doesn't land. And it's about... Kogma and Lilia do come out on top on that trade. So we'll have to see through level 1 how the poking goes. But Sejuani did start bot. Maybe he tries to do a level 2, level 3 gank. I wouldn't bet on it unless it's like a confirmed kill and make it blow flash or something. But Kogma with enhanced W does have the better poke. Milia doesn't have his fireball kick, so he won't do anything crazy. We do see trading coming out. We're seeing a little bit of that range Aurora has on top of that Wukong. Wukong can gap close really, really quickly. So we'll have to see, like I was talking about earlier, if Aurora can keep the spacing. We do see the level 2 coming out from Kogma Milio first. I mean, Caitlyn, Leo do have a good level 2, but they don't have it yet. Only level 1. Caitlyn doing a really good job getting the stun onto that Kogma from the Leo. The barrier having to come out, heal coming out from the side of Milio, keeping that Kogma alive. Flash from the Caitlyn here. Very, very vulnerable. Flash from both bot laners on the side of red side here, and they get the kill. But they can't get the Leo just yet. But Galio's here to see if he can clean up, possibly get this Kogma. There's a really, really big wave here. The flash coming in, the taunt as well. Takes down this Kogma here, and it's just Milio. Trundle is here, possibly able to pillar this Milio and keep him. It looks like they're going to be able to clean up this kill, to be honest. I mean, Milio, I don't think you're getting away from Galio. The knockup, this Galio gets 2 kills early, and this Syndra is like, okay, I'm going to shove. Caitlyn's going to answer me, but I'm not happy if Galio gets 2 kills. This guy's going to build MR, and then Syndra's going to be able to do nothing. It's going to be very tragic. But good cleanup overall. You see Flash, all the summoners on the side of red side here just don't have any summoners. So expect a jungle gank to come back. Top side, we do see a gank on top side onto this Aurora, the Wukong, the Sejuani, getting the stun here onto this Aurora. Aurora is able to walk away. The wave won't freeze, but she definitely has the back. Wukong's like, hey, I'm still here. Wait. Oh, Sejuani, my bad.
Last second.
Yeah, I would just you run under that tower and back, but she does have teleport, so she'll be able to comment back. And since she's ranged, she should be able to poke that wave out just fine. But we're back in bot lane. Maybe we'll see something more, but I think they're probably going to settle down for a bit, at least on the Caitlyn Leo side. They're like, listen, man, I don't want to scrap right now. But Galio's back here. He's already taken these deep invades into this blue side of the red team here. Like, they honestly, he's able to do that because he is up so much right now. You see, he's got 2 components of that Merc Treads, making it a little harder for Syndra to poke him out and have that lane bully style that she wants to have in the first couple levels on this Galio. He already has the Magic Shield plus that MR. It's going to be very tough for Syndra to fight right now. Galio gets to kind of do what he wants at the current moment. We do seem to poke here, but Wukong being able to just walk away with his clone. Still gets chunked out of quite a bit. I mean, he hasn't backed yet. It doesn't look like. He still has only that Doran shield. Well, Aura has gotten her back, so maybe if Wukong is able to trade, but it looks like Aura's just poking him out here. Got him to quarter HP, hitting the Q on him, the enhanced auto, forcing Wukong to flash. I mean, very, very good. And Galio's just going in. We do see the QE here out of Syndra, knocking him back, but just the channel land. It does the taunt and an auto. Pretty good for that Galio. The Galio's like, at this point, he's just going to keep going in. We do see Sejuani actually invading the blue side here, taking all the blue side camps from this Trundle, but Trundle's just going to trade it for Dragon. His bot lane has Prio right now. I mean, it's getting shoved. Well, now it's getting shoved back in. But I mean, his bot lane's in no danger of dying. Galio's going to come hover because he has the shove on Syndra. This is the first free drag for the side of Cloud Gaming. Very, very good. We're liking it. Early game is going exactly as planned, and your scaling's really, really good. So I mean, you're not really complaining too much with Cloud Gaming. But the most important thing, the objective I was talking about earlier in the game, grubs. Oh, but this dragon's gonna fall. Can they get the Milio though? I'll talk about grubs in a second. Doesn't matter. But can they get the channel? The Kog'Maw slow plus the kickback from the Milio does help keep Milio alive for now. He probably will die at some point. Maybe he won't. He's already died once. So we'll see. We'll see. You're getting the shove here. It looks like Sejuani's preparing for these grubs. I mean, these grubs are going to be a very vocal point. As I talked about before this game started, Wukong has this pressure on this Aurora. Aurora does keep her TP, which is nice. She'll be able to TP back to this objective, but it looks like Tunnel might be just too late for grubs. It looks like Red Side's going to be able to take this. No contest.
No contest. Hey, welcome, Lala.
And Lala's here.
Oh.
But we are about only 6 minutes into the game. We do see a little bit of contest. Trundle looks like he's going to be able to get these grubs. I mean, get one grub, which is fine because it still gives you the opportunity to get forward, to get that extra little grubby minion on the towers when you're pushing. So that's all you're really looking for. I mean, more grubs, the merrier. Nobody's going to complain there. Galio's just going into Syndra under this tower, not being able to finish, but definitely make you scared for sure. We see a bot lane scrap happening. It's just Leo. It's just Kog'Maw. No Milio. Caitlyn and Leo should be able to clean this up. I'm seeing one more auto in this future, but the Q does not land, and Kog'Maw is safe. Leo used Ignite there. We do see Aurora going in on this Wukong. He is 1 Q from dying, and he does fall to T1 Jace on this Aurora. Being able to just poke him out constantly is amazing, and he doesn't have TP. He has to walk. And Syndra is still having to deal with this Galio, but he is out of mana, so he's not going to be able to really do much. He kind of needs mana to get up close. So not a lot Syndra can do here besides clear the wave. They do take a plate on bot side for this Caitlyn Leo. They're doing exactly what they're trying. This is exactly what you want to do as Caitlyn, right? Kog'Maw does have like some range hit with his W. He's able to like have the range to contest with Caitlyn, but Caitlyn is always going to have that range on Kog'Maw. So she's gonna take as many plates as possible, and you kind of have to deal with it. But we're seeing just how this Aurora has been very, very oppressive. Already up to 10 CS, making Wukong already have to buy a Hex Drinker as his first component. That's a great first back. I mean, it's going to make Aurora a little harder. She's going to make it a little harder for Aurora to, like, punish. But she went Faded Ashes. I mean, Faded Burn, really, having MRs doesn't really hurt Burn too much if you're just going to keep poking them out.
Yeah.
Definitely not a bad... I'm liking the first components from the top laners. I think they both make sense.
I do agree, but I think since this is the patch where shoes are nerfed, I think Wukong should have bought maybe Mercs as the other item, just as the mobility, have some tenacity, so that if Aurora does cause him to slow or anything, he can get out of any situation. And
Sejuani coming down, forcing the flash out of this Caitlyn here. I mean, forcing the flash out of the Caitlyn, very, very good. I mean, keeping her another immobile AD carry, not having flash, a little dangerous. Sejuani not going to be able to confirm the kill, though. Keeping this Caitlyn safe for now. Definitely great. I mean, chose to use the flash instead of the cleanse. I mean, Sejuani is level 6. Doesn't have the ultimate here. Must have just used it in that fight before I had noticed. The camera panned away from me. But Trundle forcing out the clone here from this Wukong. Making his presence known. Kind of doing a cross-mapping thing. If Sejuani gets to do something bot, you automatically get to do something top. That's kind of how the name of the game goes. This game's like a turn-based game. And they both junglers took their nabs at a laner. Both came up empty. Both made them escape. I mean, neither is gonna complain. I mean, about making your the top laner, bot laner flash out or escape. You know, shows a little bit of dominance. But
Giga Chad walked it up, right?
Honestly, you know, the tanky junglers are scary, especially when it comes to like a champion like Caitlyn. But like Wukong can get out, but he has to use his clone that he usually uses to get in. I mean, two different ways of making your presence known. We do see Trundle trying to make a play on this Kog'Maw here, if my camera wants to pan to it. But Galio here just clearing this vision. He's like, hey man, I bought my Merc Treads. He's showing Wukong the way. I mean, he has the gold to do it. He's got Merc Treads and 2 books. Oh, the Blast Bite doesn't take him over the wall. A little bit embarrassing here. Galio trying to get a taunt. The taunt does come off after the root coming down from this Leo. Forcing this Kog'Maw to flash. The heal coming out from the Amelia. Caitlyn ult does come out. Doesn't able to kill. Kog'Maw is now out of sums again. This man gets his sums back up. automatically gone. Doesn't matter. And with that pressure, I mean, Galio's going to keep going through this blue side. It's just Syndra here. Everybody else is towards the bot side of the map right now. I mean, Aurora and Wukong are scrapping, but there is objective control happening, and we're back. Talented is very low. This Syndra is low, but they aren't able to get on it with all this kickback. The Galio ultimate does come down, but they do flash out of the hero's entrance. Galio is continuing to go in, but Syndra keeps them away for now. They're all so weak, and that means this dragon is going on the side of Cloud Gaming.
Ooh,
Dragon
that-
2 won't complain. Ocean Drake, I mean, get it off the map. I mean, they're doing a good job keeping themselves alive, but like, I mean, bare minimum, just like they can't do anything. You can't get a foothold right now. Wukong going in, hit both ultimates coming out for both top laners here just to keep Aurora alive. I mean, she's up so much right now. Like, she's fine with just trading ultimate. She's fine with that.
Oh yeah, I think Aurora could have just ult in right there too. Though that would have been a very crazy turn. Wukong cloned. I think the second Cyclone was still alive. So
yeah, maybe she could have, but I think the Maul definitely would have like given Wukong like some like HP regen, that lifesteal, and I don't think Aurora wants to proc that just yet. Like, it just got proc now instead of like when they were close to each other. Because if he procs that, I think he goes back in. I think, but that she definitely has the damage to do it. I 100% agree.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a scrap in mid lane. Leo is all inning this Syndra right here, knowing she doesn't have the sums to get away. Trundle pillaring. The Caitlyn ultimate does come out, and Trundle is chomping at the bit. This Syndra is gone. She's not going to be able to participate for grubs, and Sejuani knows that, and he's just going to reset. Galio here taking the attention of both bot laners here, and he's really not going to get poked out too much. I mean, he's a tanky boy. I mean, this Gargoyle man. You know, honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, Galio's down here, and both bot laners are having to match him. I think he's 100% okay with that. I mean, he's just the setup guy. He's not your carry. I mean, he's not building that like Storm Surge build, you know, where it's like he goes in and one shots you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's building some AP, but I don't think he's gonna be your carry. And we
I
do see
think
Caitlyn and Leo come back.
Oh.
Can they get the Milio? It doesn't look like they should be able to. The taunt comes out, but not enough. You were gonna say something, but the action got hot, so we had to move away for a second.
I do like the itemization out of Gallia here. He's building Proto just so that he can just get in, get out. I think it's just gonna be Proto full tank maybe, or he might be Proto.
Yeah, Proto makes sense. I mean, he is getting like knocked away a bunch, and this just gives him another dash. So maybe he's able to use that and then go into his dash afterward with the Merc Treads tenacity. We do see Wukong getting a couple autos in here, but Aurora just does too much damage right now with that Leandries. Because Wukong buying that Maw first, he has to he's just now getting into the components of his item. So I mean, definitely the advantage having first item here first, and Aurora not going boots, opting for the first full item makes sense with those boots nerfs. I mean, probably like a cooldown. I think cooldown boots are actually kind of bad. It's probably just be magic. His first tower is very close to falling here. I mean, the 4 grubs definitely putting in the work. I mean, first turn falling on the side of the Aurora. I mean, hey, 9% win rate Aurora in solo queue. He's up 30 CS right now. Gotta be feeling good.
Oh yeah, even Aurora top poking Wukong.
I mean, this Wukong had the counter too, so I mean, he must have thought this was like the best option. But it really, right now, I mean, we're not seeing a lot because the early aggression didn't work. He hasn't been able to get a foothold here. The Aurora ultimate coming out into this Wukong. This Wukong is stuck here. The mod does get proc, but there's also a bot lane fight. The heroic entrance going in, knocking up 3 here. We do see the start of the Galio knockup, but Caitlyn is just getting tracked down by the Sejuani. He's no helping. The cleanse coming out, but who falls first? The Kog'Maw is falling first. Caitlyn flashes away from this Sejuani. She is safe for now, but Trundle is the first to fall to this Kog'Maw because he is still effective with that passive. Some coming out onto the Cinder. Can they get to the Caitlyn? But the Galio is right in front of them. But who will fall? Nobody so far. The Leo Sun coming out of the Sejuani, keeping everybody alive for now. It is a 1-4-1. Jungler for AD carry. I mean, the jungler definitely a little more useful at the time, but that Kog'Maw passive, I mean, if you're chucking anybody down, Kog'Maw still might get a kill, and he ends up getting that trade back. Now he's up 2 kills on Caitlyn and relatively similar farm, only down basically a wave.
Yeah, I believe Cog is not Cog's probably only the 100 gold off. They're pretty even right now, and with that kind of fight going down, knowing that we did see Trundle just walk in to try to ult Sejuani, trying to get the maximum stats possible there. Oh, Cogs going in.
Cog chunking this person out right now is wild. I mean, Bork does that. Bork is such a great first item on that Cogma with the extra range. I mean, that life steal plus the healing from the Milia will be very, very useful. But still, Blood Moon still have this like gold lead, like a little over 2,000 gold, and they're using it to put pressure on the map. Grabbing this Rift Herald here, you would imagine they're gonna throw this mid. I mean, it's very, very good to always just throw it in the mid. It's like then it opens up the map more. Plus, this dragon is gonna be it's up in 17 seconds. I mean, a great soul, by the way, for the side of Cloud Gaming. I mean, 2 ranged champions plus Trundle, and it's Hexexel. Like, how amazing of a draw is that for them? I mean, the attack speed, the slow on the waves. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah,
That's
very
better
good.
soul. I mean, to be honest here, Kog'Maw is caught out a little bit. The Leo route coming through, but just use the Q onto that Sejuani. So I mean, can't really all in here, nor do you really want to. The Sejuani ultimate coming in onto the Leona, though, not the Caitlyn, not who you really want to get, and they really just wasted it. I mean, they take the space, but no kill is being used. Aurora using that Rift Herald to take over this mid tower thing. We all know what towers are.
TP?
TP coming in from the Wukong. Now it's a 5v5 scrap, but we do see the Rift Herald still pushing mid. I mean, if they get that tower, they already got one. The Rift Herald does expire. 4,000 on this dragon. Can they get inside? The Aurora ultimate coming through. The Galio ultimate following. And Eternal does take the dragon. This dragon for Cloud Gaming. Caitlyn taking down the Syndra. Caitlyn getting a double kill onto this Milio. And now the Wukong falls. And the Kog'Maw is quick to follow after. A 4-for-0, a tower, a dragon. I mean, that's across the board. Just a huge interaction for Cloud Gaming. Couldn't go better.
That was a very clean. That was just like they layered that so perfectly too. Aurora got the good. It was just good. Like the ultis were just lined up for them basically for Cloud Gaming. That was
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do against Galio, let's group up. I mean, Galio is licking his fingers right now. He saw all 4 of them grouped up together. Oh, I'm gonna hit a 4-man knockup, and Aurora's gonna keep queuing you until you fall. You know what I mean? Like, very well done. Like you said, very layered up. I mean, Caitlyn's the one who ended up with 3 of the kills though too. She was just down 2 kills, and we were saying they're even. Now she's big ahead. I mean, like, she's so ahead right now. She's so... Once Caitlyn gets ahead, it's kind of hard to, like, compete. Especially now she built the rapid fire cannon. Like, her range that she already has is just way more oppressive. I mean, definitely matches with that Kog'Maw Milio enhanced W.
This looks very rough for bare minimum to win. Like it's like they have to really pick very well here. Caitlyn needs to get caught out. They need to just dump everything on either Galio or even Galio, Aurora, or even Kate just to get shut down going on one of these carries, because we do see like Syndra, Wukong don't have any like outside gold except for minions. So we're praying that happens for bare minimum, but at the same time, Cloud Gaming is like they're very ahead and they can just push 2-item Caitlyn 18 minutes. That's very scary to deal with right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely agree. I mean, the only saving grace you have really is Kog'Maw and Milio. I mean, being able to have that scaling. We do see Galio going in on the Sejuani. I mean, they're both tanks. I mean, Galio building Rocket Belt really doesn't change the fact that Galio's a tank. He is building damage. It looks like he is ahead enough. He got that needlessly large rod after the Proto Belt. I mean, could see a Shadow Flame here. The Leona ultimate goes coming out, hitting slows because only the outside hits. But these people are dying really fast. I mean, 2 of your squishiest players, I mean, fall so quickly to the side of Cloud Gaming. And it's looking a little rough right now. Cloud Gaming is just pushing on the gas pedal, and they're not letting go.
Yeah, even more picks, even topside. Oh,
Trundle everybody just wants to fight right now inside Cloud Gaming. They're just, honestly, this is called a wallet gap. I mean, right now, like, any fight that happens is instantly tilted in the favor of Cloud Gaming because they just have more gold. I mean, no matter how good, like, bare minimum plays their fights, they don't have enough gold right now to fight. They're not allowed to. And Cloud Gaming's letting them know. Like,
yeah, Cloud Gaming's pushing very hard, knowing that if they get to 3 items at least on Cog and Syndra, they would have a difficult time. But they have 2 items. They're just like, let's just push. Let's just get our lead going, and we're gonna try to finish this. They're trying to close out basically. They close out the next 5-10 minutes. It's probably gonna be just wraps because bare minimum needs to once again pick very hard to get their gold up.
Now, Aurora opting for a Cosmic Drive second item instead of the Malignant I've been seeing. Cosmic Drive usually is like the third item, that you build. And a lot of mages that want to just continue to kite, and spam their abilities like a Cassio. But the Malignant's not having your ultimate up. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt her too much right now just because, she's up so much farm and up so much gold. Like, I don't think it really matters to have your ultimate up all the time. So maybe we'll still see it, but I don't think it's going to come around. Maybe she's going to opt for a Rabadon's here, just to have the flat damage for the team fights. The pillar does come out. Milio being able to just dodge it, a little sidestep, does knock him up a little bit. Nothing crazy. The dragon, a minute away. What we got?
Oh, the fight's up.
Scrap happening. Jason's like, hey, you want to fight? You want to fight Bunny Girl versus the Monkey King? Can we see what happens? He is getting a little too close. The ultimate being forced out from Aurora. And the Wukong being forced to flash with Galio being up here. Too much damage for him to deal with. One Maw is not going to save him at Galio and Aurora. But Dragon's up in 35 seconds. You would imagine that both top laners want to be here for it. And Aurora's not resetting right now. She wants to fight Wukong. She's trying to keep Wukong here. And going in here, we have a first strike being landed by the Caitlyn here. The Galio ult does come through, but he gets CC'd, so it does not continue to go up. The clone coming out from Wukong, but it's not going to save him here. They are chasing. Can they get more? A double kill going on the side of Galio here. Can they get more? Trundle being able to chomp at Milio, but he said he wasn't really interested in it. They're going to choose the Baron over the Soul. No, they can't decide right now. But Trundle says, no, we're doing Baron. They can have the one dragon. It's not a big deal. They get the Baron. It's not. They're going to be a little. They're going to be able to take towers like very crazy.
I think getting Baron here over Soul is I think it's kind of like how they want to play. I'm pretty sure they're probably calling like, if we get this Baron, the one team fight that bare minimum just messes up, like one of them or two of them falls, it's just wraps basically. That's what I think is going through Clown Gaming's mind.
Yeah, definitely agree. You have the poke and you have the 4 grubs. You have a lot of tower taking potential, and you have so much gold that you're probably gonna win the next dragon fight. But Soul is Soul. Soul is permanent. Baron is not. I understand what they're thinking. I think they probably could have gotten Soul and then fought Baron and won. They're just that strong right now. But Baron is what they got, so we'll have to see what they do with it. You would imagine that they're going to probably try to take a bot lane approach to it, maybe a 4-1 or a 1, having Aurora split, and then having most of this team mid in that blue side jungle on the side of bare minimum. Bare minimum's like, okay, look, you can take our blue side. We're going to clear the red side, know what we can clear. Blue buff's not up, but as soon as it is, that thing is definitely Cloud Gaming's property. Sure.
Yeah. Blue side's just conquered by them. They're pushing that up. Like, I think bare minimum, if they just see the chance, I think they just have to pick, or they would just have to all in this fight, or they're gonna like just slowly get out blood because Baron's strong, and then everyone on the side of Clown Gaming. Oh, the
Oracle's coming up. Caitlyn's following up here. That Syndra is very low. 2 ultimates. I don't think you're surviving that, and she does fall to this Aurora. Turret falls next with this Baron. They're just, hey, you guys want to fight us, or are you gonna give us your tower? It's basically what they're telling him. They have great poke, great ways to get out with the E, with the invisibility out of this Aurora here. She's just toying with the Sejuani. Sejuani uses the ultimate to try to EC lock her down, but it did not work. Now she's just gonna let this cannon work. Now they choose to siege the mid lane. They have member advantage right now. Sejuani's still with this Aurora, but they're gonna go into this Milio and this Cog, but that Trundle found out what Cogma damage is like. He got a couple autos in, and Trundle's like, okay, we can stop for a second. Aurora's not done, though. She is poking the Sejuani out, and she has another empowered wave here. She's trying to see if she can get this tower, and the tower looks like it's going to be a couple autos short from falling. They should be able to save that tower. If not, it's going to be very, very close, and they do save it. But mid lane tower does fall. So, one wrong move on the side of bare minimum, and they lose the base. It's over.
Oh, yeah. I think Clown Gaming, by the way, like I think it's just way too ahead. They're too oppressive now to where I think bare minimum can get a pick. I think it's kind of wraps just because like everyone's on the side of on the side of Clown Gaming at least. They're 3 items up. They're like Aurora super juiced. You see Trundle's just stacking it, and they just it looks a really bad time for bare minimum at my side. Like it's a very low chance of bare minimum coming back, but they do have Cogmilio, and with that extra range, I'm hoping that they can have like a comeback. It's very close.
No, yeah. I mean, seeing the Runtal coming out from Caitlyn, I haven't seen that item in a minute. I'm gonna be so real. Um, but I mean, definitely not a bad item. Being able to supply bleed. I mean, you would have expected maybe an IE or something like that.
Mhm.
But definitely not. She's the one playing. I'm the one casting. We do see the Zanyas coming up from the Galio, flashing out to safety, but then immediately charges right back in. This inhib does fall, and now you have the empower minions coming in, especially with that dragon being up in a minute 45 seconds. I mean, very, very good to have just an auto shoving wave. Now you can just focus on that top lane and on the bot wave and just be like, hey, you guys have to answer this before you can even get close to this dragon. So I like it. I like the side of going for the mid inhib first instead of the bot inhib, even though I've been pushing on bot so hard.
Mhm.
But I mean, probably trying to get a reset here. It looks like they're just getting as much vision as possible. I mean, look at the vision out of the side of Cloud Gaming. It's very, very offensive. It's not something where they're trying to protect. They're taking as much space as they want inside of Venom's jungle. And this Sejuani is only hasn't used his red trinket just to clear his red side, and the blue side's the most important. I mean, they know where the Sejuani is now. I mean, he showed them exactly where he is. He's resetting, trying to see if he can get any control wards, any vision at all to give him an advantage or give him a chance to steal his dragon. But with as much vision as Cloud Gaming has, it's going to be very difficult for that one red trinket and 2 pink wards to clear.
Oh yeah, this is very hard for, I think, bare minimum just to walk up in, because if at any moment, like if Clown Gaming just gets one of them, it's just all right. We're just running at them right now. There's no, there's no stopping Clown Gaming from them just doing that.
Oh yeah, you can just look at the level difference in between junglers, and it's going to be very hard. We do see the sun coming out from the center. The TP from the Aurora is going to come through, and they're just saying, hey, we want to fight. We don't actually need Dragon. The Aurora ultimate going on to 3. The Galio ultimate to follow, hitting a double knockup here. The Trundle does end up killing the Sejuani. The double taunt into another knockup from Galio, and this Milio does fall. Royal does fall to the Wukong. They do get the trade, but they're so chunked out. They can't really defend. They have to go back to base, get out, and then see if they can do anything about this Caitlyn push. The wave is massive. They're going to go take the dragon. They're going to secure their prize. I mean, they are not going to finish the game just yet, but this dragon is just going to further assert their dominance in these team fights, and it's going to make it even harder. I know we keep saying bare minimum are having a rough time, but this Hextech Soul is definitely going to go a long way in terms of game faster.
Yeah, Calm Gaming here. I like how they play the safer route. They could have just tried to force the end right there. They had 4 versus 3, but it's the safer route. They're taking it slow. They're like, okay, we want to secure the win. We don't want to just kind of flip right there. So nice call for Clown Gaming on that one.
No, I mean, Cloud Gaming's just trying to find a way. They, like I said, they need to find a pick. But it's like, even if you find a pick at this point, Trundle is very strong. Aurora is very strong. Galio, in his own way, is very strong. Having the Zeke's convergence as well is something I haven't seen a lot of. I mean, he does a lot of damage. All of them do. But it looks like we do have possible scrap here on these grubs. I mean, Leona's going to go check. There's 2 there. They're trying to see who's around this Baron. Who's going to contest. And it looks like we're going to have a fight. They're going to try to flip this fight for a Baron. I mean, if they don't get this Baron in bare minimum's eyes, it's kind of over. The pillar does come out onto the Kog'Maw. Leona ultimate does come out as well, and forcing Kog'Maw to flash out safe, but now he's Kog'Maw with no flash, and they have a wave they got to answer on the bot side. I mean,
Oh yeah, bare minimum is not going to contest with. I would think Sejuani stays with steal. Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's the best hope. If Sejuani gets a steal, great. He gets hit by the Caitlyn trap. They know exactly where the Sejuani's at. But he has no vision into this pit. He's completely blind right now with that pink ward. Aurora's just gonna come in. Hey, you want to fight real quick? I'm cool with that. And she's chunking this Sejuani. He's gonna try to go in, get a steal at 2,000 HP. The smite is early though, and Trundle does get the finishing blow onto this Baron. But Kog'Maw is in there. He does get the Wukong does finish this Caitlyn. Trundle getting the Kog'Maw though, but the Kog'Maw passive is live. Cinder getting the kill on the Leon or the Galio ultimate coming through, getting the triple knockup. Cinder getting this Galio, finishing off, getting the shutdown of the Galio, and there's 2v2. And this Milio healing just isn't enough to keep that Cinder and Milio alive from this Aurora damage. with the wave, with the Baron, with 2 people up, you would have to expect that Cloud Gaming is going to take game 1, and we're going to be heading into game 2 very, very confident after an emphatic win.
Yeah, I think bare minimum is gonna ban this Aurora now, 100%. That was very hard to deal with in this lane ways. Like this lane stay, we just saw Aurora just like completely just make sure Wukong couldn't even play the game. So
Yeah, I mean Aurora, it's just like a classic Riot like first week champ. You know what I mean? Where it's gonna no matter
Yeah.
like what champ it is, right? Whether it was like the Gwen or the Viego or the Milio even or the Smolder, right? Like eventually you get to a point where they figure out how to play that champ and it becomes insanely OP. I mean, obviously Aurora didn't run the game or anything like that. Like there was other players involved in that success with the Galio being fed early and Caitlyn finding her footing, right? Aurora is just her scaling is insane with those items, and it's kind of hard to predict where her power spikes are because she's so new. And range tops are always just very oppressive. So I agree. I think they should ban it. I think you got to look at it and be like, look, I don't want to unless they take blue side and they pick it. I mean, they do have a person that plays it. I believe their mid laner plays a little bit of it. So maybe their mid laner takes it over instead of the Syndra. Maybe that's a change up. But I mean, I think it's just gonna get banned if not picked by red side. We'll have to see. I don't know what Cloud Gaming is gonna do. I mean, if I'm Cloud Gaming, I'm trying to run back that draft as much as possible. I mean, it seemed to work for them. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, do you think there's I know you came in late, so there might be like you might not know as much, but do you feel like there was something from what you were seeing that maybe um bare minimum have to do to like do they have to change really is probably a better word to like get into game 2 and have like a better fighting chance and have maybe more success?
I think for top lane wise, I think they should change that Wukong. I think Wukong should have been a different champion at least, knowing that you're playing against a ranged top lane. I see bare minimum. They were probably thinking it's Aurora mid, so he was gonna fight Galio. That was their thinking, but I think they should prepare for more of a flex wise to show like a different way to go that. You know, like that's why I would think because I'm like, oh, that would be the ideal thing. I think they weren't ready for that flex and that messed up like their kind of game plan because they're like Wukong's here for, kind of that wombo. But overall, I think bare minimum they should probably stick to one more of like what they want to do too. I think their draft is a little wonky because Syndra, Wukong, and Sejuani are kind of like the core three are kind of clunky in my mind because it's like 3 different things you want, right? I think Syndra and Sejuani work. I think the top lane pick just needs to change for me.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
can see what
idea.
you're saying there. Yeah, I think Wukong's a little out of meta right now. I mean, but from what their OP.GD tells me, they are a very, very dive heavy team. I think dive is just very in right now. I mean, they picked the Sejuani, that was expected. You know, the Samira and the Kaisa, I think, were banned, I'm pretty sure. And that kind of like threw a wrench in what AD carry wanted to play. Kog'Maw's great. Kog'Maw Milio as a duo is a very great thing, but it's not your like with the comp they had, it felt a little clunky as well. Maybe like an MF or a Jinx. You know what I mean? Like Jinx like is very good into a follow up comp or a dive comp because you could just send her rocket in and get hyper, and then it becomes like unbeatable at like late stages of the game. But I do think the top lane needs a change. I just don't think Wukong's it. And if Aurora's banned, then maybe we see a different story. I don't think that T1 Jace is going to be playing range tops like exclusively. So we will definitely see a different top lane matchup in game 2. But I mean, Cloud Gaming, you want to run that comp back. I'm very much a firm believer, especially when I'm coaching. Like if you have a really dominant win like they just had, I mean, you want to run that comp back. You're like, hey, it worked one time. I think it might work a second. I mean, they have to learn to beat Cloud Gaming on that comp, or they're gonna have no success in game 2, in my opinion. I mean, I want them to succeed, and I'm not like doubting them because they're both really, really great teams. But what we just saw, like Cloud Gaming, just like they knew what they were doing with that comp, and they just once they got ahead, it was over for it in their minds. So like you got to find like a foothold there. I mean, they do roam a lot. Bot lane did get ahead for bare minimum at level 1, level 2. That's good. Maybe play for a bot lane centric lineup game 2. Play for your bot lane a little more. Maybe it's like you B1 Kaisa and you B1 like a dive 80 carry with a Nautilus.
Mhm.
I mean, definitely something to consider. But we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. I think dive comps are very easy to execute, is why I'm recommending it. Because I think everybody love a good drive comp, but we are getting into drive for game 2. I mean, we're already rambling enough a lot. I mean, we're not gonna. I hope nobody's complaining. I'm enjoying talking about it. I mean, I love casting. Um, but we'll have to see what they draft. I mean, I don't know. You misdraft a little bit, so I was really evident on Cloud Gaming picking Poppy because
Mhm.
of what I was saying with the dive comps with bare minimum, just like they want to play a dive comp. Poppy's just like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Poppy just hits W and then they walk away. Poppy was the first ban from bare minimum, the very first ban. Um, so they know what they want to do with that Poppy ban. They know that they want to play a dive comp and Poppy's going to throw a wrench in there. But if like Poppy gets banned again, I think honestly you could see Cloud Gaming pick like Talia mid. Like Talia mid is still very viable, and can just do the same exact thing. So we'll have to see. I could see some different picks here. I don't know. Is there a pick in specific that I don't know if you're looking at the OP.GGs or not that you're just
Mhm.
like feeling like could be useful for either team?
Uh,
I mean, or something you want to see?
I think if they want to go dive comp, I think I would like to see like a J4 at least. J4 is like the old classic, right? Just EQ, pray you hit the EQ or don't get too messed up in. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, J4 is very, very good. I agree. I mean, it looks like he plays some very good dive champions. Like we have a Vi here. We have the Lee Sin, Gragas. You know what I mean? Like damage dealers, game changing junglers if you play them correctly. The Vi ultimate can if Cloud Gaming picks like a 80 carry that's just like he's the sole win con, a VIR is devastating. You know what I mean to that win con? I mean, just to continually go in, have an unstoppable ultimate. Lee Sin can carry a game by himself. I mean, what to see? I mean, I don't know who their usual like. I haven't watched bare minimum play before. This is the first time I've casted, first time I've seen them. I don't know who their carry person is, who their win con usually is, or what their game plan usually is.
Mhm.
But it looks like their jungler plays a lot of carry champions. I mean, maybe you're play that take the Galio, play a supportive mid laner somehow in mid. Maybe bring the Seraphine, bring that Ari that I'm seeing a lot of from very talented, and play alongside this jungler that seems like he likes to play carry champs and have like the game in his hands. Let's see some of that. I mean, try to turn this. You have to try something different in game 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I do
so
agree there. Let's get into the draft though. So uh right, bare minimum pick the blue side here, and then
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I see the draft has been quite far in. Apologies, guys. I wasn't looking at it. But um, so Ivern first pick, one of those junglers that is very supportive, very good with almost any comp really. Shields never really are terrible. But then Blood Moon coming in with the Ezreal, the Viego, and then following Jinx, Ari into an Aatrox. So I mean, these comps seem a little different. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're getting different characters almost across the board right now. The Jinx being first, even the Jinx. I mean, we're seeing a lot of different ideas here. The Teemo hover again from the side of bare minimum, but I mean, we have a lot of bans. The bans are very similar for Cloud Gaming, besides the Mordekaiser. And bare minimum did ban the Aurora, banned the Galio, Poppy still banned, and 2 burn mages in the Victor and the Brand, just to catch us up a little bit so we could talk.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, right now, I mean, we're seeing 2 comfortable like champion picks. I mean, with the Ivern and the Ari. I mean, 2 champions that both these players play a lot of. Ari was picked like 37 times. I mean, a lot of games on the Ari in terms of what this player has played. But right now, I'm really liking Blood Moon's draft. Ezreal is, from what I've seen, has been just so oppressive. Before Lysandra picked, could be played mid or bot. But Ezreal and the Jinx, definitely a good matchup for the Ezreal. I mean, able to keep his range away. Lysandra into Ari, very, very good. Being able to, if Ari gets too close, Lysandra's going to punish her for it.
Yep.
But the Thresh last pick, bringing your support into being your second round of like picks here into the Maokai. Oh no, Maokai looks so good here. I mean, Blood Moon has like 2 CC Wombo combos with the Sandra ulti and the Maokai. They just go, hey, you're gonna not move for a bit. Sorry about that. And the problem is that bare minimum like to move. I mean, Jinx with her hyper, Ari with her ultimate, Thresh Lantern. But you're really not gonna be able to Lantern, Ari ult, and hyper around if you're CC'd for a good minute. I don't know, anything in the draft sticking out to you personally?
I think like this is I think the Iron pick is the one thing. I think Darius versus Aatrox. I think Darius just kind of rocks that kind of matchup 1-on-1. It's kind of
Mhm.
scary for top lane. I think he bare minimum. I think he had enough. He just wants to run the ones.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I mean, he was like, listen, man, we don't see a ranged top lane. They're gonna be swinging some weapons around, and they're gonna see who comes out on top. I mean, I love a good Aatrox though. Like, I love a good Aatrox watching. I mean, just being able to, because that champion, I mean, both Darius and Aatrox can like 1v4 fights, 1v5 fights if played correctly. But just like, I'm an Aatrox enjoyer. We'll have to see though if top lane looks a little different with no range top lane. I'm a little surprised with the Lissandra, to be honest. I mean, I don't see a lot of Lissandra nowadays. I mean, you could play a lot into Ahri as stuff, but it's one of those champions where into Ahri it's very, very good. But also, Lissandra ultimate into the Jinx. I love that a lot. It's going to force Jinx to either buy QSS or go cleanse this game. I think cleanse has a high value with the Maokai CC. So
Yep.
maybe we see the Jinx with the cleanse here. But Jinx Thresh, very very like good duo. I mean, back when the Jinx meta was happening, maybe a couple seasons ago, maybe two splits ago, 2 seasons ago, yeah, like season 12. Like Jinx Thresh, like one of the best duos in the game. So we'll have to see if that memory still lives up. But I'm liking Blood Moon, maybe a little bit of recency bias, towards them a little bit. But I like the bare minimum with comfort. I think comfort always beats meta. You know what I mean? Like you could
Yeah,
be,
yep. I agree
yeah.
there.
It's like I don't know if anybody's like an LCS watcher, but like APA of Team Liquid, right, playing the Ziggs in mid lane, like that's his signature champ, and nobody else plays Ziggs because Ziggs is like not as good as other options in mid right now, like the Tristanas and the Corkis, but he still plays it and he plays amazing on it. So maybe that's what the Ari and the Ivern are for the side of bare minimum. And we'll have to see if this changes anything. And hopefully it does for the side of bare minimum. I mean, like, who doesn't love a 3-game banger, right?
All right. Yeah.
But
I do agree with you. Comfort is very good. Even like I watch LCS too, so I like when APA picks Ziggs or Cass, and we're just like, finally something new. Like he plays very comfortable champions, and from what we're looking at now, I think bare minimum is like they're like, okay, let's not try to be super up. Let's just play for what we're good at, and yeah, I really like that. But
yeah,
I do agree like this. I do think Clown Gaming, their draft is really strong because it's reset city just for Viego. Like if the Sandra locks somebody down, that's just reset city. So he's just gonna start going crazier. Like it depends on who resets first, right? It's either Viego or Jinx, and we're just gonna
yeah.
see ADC versus jungle at the
Well,
reset.
Lissandra has her passive too, though. Like
Yeah, yeah.
even if Viego gets that reset, you see Lissandra like brings them back to life with the icicles, and they do damage as well. I mean, but what Ezreal does really well is play by himself, and Maokai. This gives Maokai the opportunity to roam and play with Lissandra and play with Viego, with that ultimate and with that W to be able to just keep people in place. Watch Maokai roam around the map this game. Very, very, very like good. Like Thresh wants to stay in lane, kinda like play next to his Jinx, keep Jinx safe. He can roam, but Maokai's roams are going to be very pivotal here if Cloud Gaming wants to get ahead.
Oh yeah.
But we will be back very, very soon. We're gonna get a full game of La La Land. He's gonna be here with me the entire game. Hopefully I let him talk. But we're gonna go to a break before game 2. So guys, stay tuned and we'll be back very, very soon.
back into the Bentley used. Won't take long, even when I'm without you, babe. So listen up and play along. And that's how time flies, like we're on a different timeline. Tell me that you're here with me, and down for anything. Oh, I'm down for anything. It's fine line that we keep on walking all night. Tell me that you're here with me, and down for anything. Oh, I'm down for anything. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, down, down. Ooh, I'm down for anything. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, down, down. Ooh, I'm down for anything. Yeah, we can make a mess inside this booth.
Okay, guys, game 2, round 2. Game 1 doesn't really exist right now. We're gonna put it out of our minds. That's at least what Bare Minimum was saying, and they're gonna go in. Both teams looking to invade in this top side. 2 different routes that we're seeing. We're seeing Cloud Gaming go through these bushes, see if anybody's sticking out. But I mean, he might be able to catch Bare Minimum if it's the timing's right. I mean, they don't see them. They don't see them at all. Doesn't look like anything's gonna happen. Oh, nope,
The
we see
Aatrox
something.
bait?
We see
Ooh.
Aatrox is baiting him in. We're gonna see a really big fight happen here. We do see the knockup coming into level 1. Aatrox hitting 2 Qs. Maokai Root coming in, getting the finish here. Flashes all around. Seeing the hook onto this Aatrox, getting him stunned under the tower. Lissandra gets Ari first, but Aatrox does follow. The Ignite does get the kill onto the Darius. I mean, the nice Darius is chasing, but no. Cloud Gaming starting on a 3-1 lead, 1,000 gold lead to start the game. I mean, Aatrox did a really good job just baiting all of them in. He's like, oh no, I need help. And then they were like, yeah, no, actually, I brought my boys with me. And then it was all over. I mean, that's an entertaining start, right? Like, I think we had fun.
That was really good. Like when we watched that fight again, like you just saw Lissandra clones just started hitting them like under the tower. I was like, whoa, wait. You saw Ari hit, you saw Darius. It was
everybody's. I just kept hearing flash happen, but I couldn't tell who. And so I look away. We see Ari flash happen, Ignite from the Thresh, flash from 4 players on the side of Cloud Gaming. Oh, a disconnect from the Ivern, and he's back already. So we're good. He's fine. We're fine. I mean, nothing happened here. It happened like for 2 seconds. We're fine. But a little bit of trading happening. Nothing to report really. I mean, what are you looking for in terms of this game? Like, do you see anything that you're like hoping each team does?
I mean, on Bare Minimum to step on the gas, maybe like first item Jinx, they just start going because like I feel like Bare Minimum they didn't step on the gas when they had their items, so that's what I'm hoping for. But then again, for Cloud Gaming, I'm waiting to see what they do with their items because like as soon as like 2 or 3 items happen, I'm pretty sure Cloud Gaming can just run them down. So
you see Darius getting all like 3 autos off here, making Aatrox bleed a little bit. I do like what I'm seeing out of Jinx and Thresh though, pushing that wave, shoving, making sure Ezreal's the one under tower. We do see a little bit of engage coming in on mid. I mean, both proccing their summoners. I mean, Electrocute coming out from Ari there. King Comet's a little easier to proc. I understand it's not 3 abilities, just 1. But a little bit of exchanging in mid. Mages are fun, guys. I promise. But I do like that Lissandra bought an extra pot. She has 3 instead of 2 now because of that early scrap. She's getting the 2 kills, bought an Amtone, bought a book, bought a pink ward. Love a supportive mid laner. I mean, people take notes. Buy pink wards. If you don't, your jungle will hate you. But I like I said, back on bot lane. Ezreal being pushed in is a lot better for Jinx. Obviously, nobody wants to be under their own tower, but if Jinx is under an ether tower, it's very hard for her. She wants to be the aggressor. I mean, so does Ezreal, but Ezreal can play under tower better than Jinx can with his shift out. Aatrox going in here. We're seeing a little bit of a scrap happening, but Ivern is here first. So Diego's still clearing Krugs. I mean, they're going to chase down this Aatrox a little bit. If it stops panning to mid, I'll be able to watch. But Aatrox walking around, he's just delaying for Viego right now. But Darius is weak. He does get his W, getting a little bit of the health back here. But Aatrox has this Darius, forcing him to flash. The bleed stacks are on this Aatrox. He is ticking down. Level 4 coming in for the Darius. The root coming in from this Ivern. And Darius does get the Viego first. And Lissandra's here, but she brought Ari to this fight, and I don't think you really want to fight a 3v2. Well done by the Darius to stay composed and keep that HP up, just enough for Ivern to help him out against this Aatrox and get this early lead.
Yeah, this is the power of the Ivern. Oh,
Oh, you see this Lissandra has stayed too long, forcing her to flash out here. And Ari is going to take that. I mean, now Ari has all full reign to be aggressive in that lane. Even Lissandra being up 2-0. This lane is very even for this Ari at the current moment. But we do see we're back in bot lane. Nothing has changed. Nobody's died. Ezreal has 3 assists from the beginning. Maokai got his little first blood kill. Like, they have more. But, I mean, they haven't reset yet. It doesn't look like... I mean, it looks like everybody's doing fine. It's just they're totally oblivious to what's happening on the top side of the map, and honestly, they don't care. They just want to farm their minions. Not a big deal. But Dragon here going on the side of Cloud Gaming. I mean, they were just there first. I mean, Ivern's on his red side, but I don't think he's really going to contest this Dragon. Yeah, I mean, nice little bot lane fun. You know, who doesn't like farming minions? Am I right?
This is a very chill bot lane compared to what we're seeing top lane so far. You know,
top lane's like domination, and then like bot lane's just like we're good. Let's settle down. Let's have some tea, drink a coffee. You know what I mean? Like relax. We'll have to see if that changes because usually bot lane's a little more scrappy. But we do see the lantern for the Ari, the Ivern coming in, the root falling onto this Ezreal here, and now Maokai is just getting tracked down. Yeah, he forces out the flash. Viego is here, but is he gonna really change much? The exhaust coming out from this Ezreal, trying to get Viego some time to go in. He does get the stun onto this Ivern here. Threshold coming out, forcing the flash out of this Viego. As soon as we said it was calm, then the action came. Maybe that's what we gotta start doing. Yeah, I mean, just call everything calm, and maybe we would have a bloodbath again too.
Yeah, maybe we just say, oh, nothing's. They're not gonna 5-man jump mid.
They're not gonna 5-man ARAM mid the rest of the game. No objectives, just straight hands.
That's.
But, I mean, to be honest, like I'm a little surprised that that like beginning fight didn't like bear more fruit for Side Cloud Gaming. I mean, like bare minimum, like really honestly, like they did a really good job of like rebounding.
Yeah, it was a very like well fought there.
Yeah, like
but it was like very on edge, but they were really composed about what they were doing. Like, okay, just back up, we got this, and they were using their summoners correctly there. Like, it was very balanced for like that kind of fight that was really scrappy. It was very balanced, and I think Dira's kind of annoyed that his hooks, or their hooks haven't hit, because like as the Thresh, like if you saw in that fight, like he hooked in between 2 champions, and that just like it makes you like, what, how, you know what I mean? Like, how does that not work for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I mean, Darius, I'm liking the first item, Bramble. I mean, like just like stunning this Aatrox is like healing early. Very, very helpful. The Ezreal ultimate coming out onto this Grubs, maybe able to steal one, and he does. He gets the stolen Grub from his ultimate there. That's the Ezreal buffs, guys. That's the Ezreal buffs. That's what it was meant for. But the other 2 Grubs look like they're just gonna go to Ivern. Viego wants it. Really can't have it. I mean, so they're trading first Dragon for 2 Grubs. I mean, Ezreal, credit to him for getting that one. End of it. So I mean, good on him. He's probably happy with himself. I would be too. Yeah. Good job, Ezreal.
Oh,
Root coming in onto this Threshold. He does get caught up, but the follow-up does not land from this Viego. I mean, if that lands, maybe they're able to chunk him out, but I don't think it was going to happen. But we do see top lane coming out, the Ghost coming out of the Darius, the World Ender, the World Bringer coming out from Aatrox here. He does have the healing, but Darius is chunking him down. Will the ultimate come out? The flash ultimate. Oh, he didn't flash. It was just the Aatrox flash, but the ultimate does come out from Darius, and that Aatrox is still dead. I mean, honestly, well done by the Darius. I mean, just being able to kite around what Aatrox was trying to do, and that Bramble making it so much harder for Aatrox to like actually sustain that fight, especially early. I mean, well done by Darius. Well done. He's getting his anger out.
Yeah. Fort said, "Run it." he really said, "Run it."
He said, "No Aurora." Okay, let's do it. This Maokai is getting chunked out. The traps do fall onto this Maokai, but does Jinx have Rocket? The Rocket does come out, but it's way too late, and this Thresh actually falls before the Maokai does. I mean, they just had the right amount of people at the right time. This Cassandra does get the kill onto the Thresh, so she's just trying to get more traction. She's down 12 CS, so she's around basically like 2 kills up, maybe 2.5 kills of gold up at the moment on this Ari. But I mean, we'll have to see. I think she's probably gonna go Malignance first, I would assume, on the Lissandra to have that ultimate up perma. She's going in on this Ari here. The W does come out. The charm follows onto this Lissandra. Will anything more happen? Ari does have to level up at the moment. The Q landing here. Lissandra doesn't have TP, so she'll have to walk back. She just took a really big trade for somebody who doesn't have like the summoners or the HP to do so at the moment. Now Ari gets the crash dish and she gets a really good back off with a good amount of CS. Like she might try for. It looks like she's gonna try for a plate here though. Maokai's gonna keep that from happening. He's gonna keep this plate for though.
That was pretty greedy from Ari. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's greedy from both. But I mean, Lissandra knew she was gonna have her ultimate or her malignance up. So I mean, I guess that's why she took that big trade.
Mhm.
But neither of them had TP. Their TPs are gonna come up around the same time. Ari didn't get to get her back in, and Lissandra's here for this dragon that's going to be up in 18 seconds.
well, this is a big difference. Let's see what happens.
I mean, really great back time of Lissandra, but we do see that Ivern here, though. Daisy coming out from the Ivern, keeping this Cloud Gaming squad away from this Thresh, trying to keep everybody alive. The root coming out from Lissandra, followed up by Maokai here. The ultimate following onto this Thresh. Can Lissandra go further? She chooses not to. The Maokai ultimate does CC the entire team, but everybody's getting chunked down, but they aren't dying. But Viego is very, very close to the root coming out, and Ohari does find this Viego. I mean, Cloud Gaming trying to react, trying to finish these people off, but they just don't die. Shields are this Ivern shielding keeps bare minimum alive for so long, and they lose their jungler on side Cloud Gaming, and now the dragon just goes over to bare minimum for basically a really bad fight coming at Cloud Gaming. I mean, well done.
Yeah, I do want to point out too that Jinx has way more damage output than Ezreal right now. Jinx's pickaxe and BF sword, like that's so much AD on top of the Ezreal just having claw fields and a long sword. So like that fight was just more benefited for
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the attack damage items definitely made a difference. I mean, especially because like Ezreal like later on will have the items, right? And he'll have his Mana Moon and he'll have his Shojin, whatever, right? But he chose to buy Steelcast first so he wouldn't die in lane. I mean, he has a really good lane build, but team fight build, I 100% agree that Jinx does more damage right now. Plus, she has that ultimate that does like a bunch of damage on Splash and possibly even increases her damage with the hyper. So we'll have to see. I mean, if further on at this 80 carry difference until they get to that first item, like what's that gonna look like in terms of team fight?
Yeah.
Lissandra is down here. This Jinx is
Ooh.
not very safe, and then we do see the root coming up from Maokai, and then Lissandra is here. There's nothing Jinx can do. There's nothing.
That was
He's
very
not-
good from Cloud Gaming. That was like a very clean dive that they could have done.
This Lissandra is down 17 CS, but it doesn't matter because every time she goes for a roam, she's getting the kill. I mean, she's happy. I'm happy if I'm a 4-0 Lissandra. I'm like, yeah, I'm fighting Ari perma right now. Like, Ari is gonna be fought perma. She doesn't even have first item yet. Lissandra rushed item instead of boots, so she's a little slow, and yet I find it very remarkable she's going around the map so fast. Or plates on the bot side too.
I really wished on bare minimum that this Ari would like rotate to the other side of the map at least, or just try to cause a little bit more panic for Cloud Gaming, because when Lissandra roams, Ari just kind of sits mid here, and it kind of like positions like, oh, we know that Ari's not gonna move when Lissandra moves, so I think pressure should be like, I think bare minimum. I really wish Ari would pressure a little bit more here. You know, farm is great and everything, but impacting a player, even missing your lane a little bit would help.
No, yeah. I mean, honestly, I agree. I mean, but it's like she's prioritizing her farm, which is fine. But you don't have, if Lissandra roams, right, there's really only two things you should be doing, which is like either you're counter roaming like you're talking about, or you're pushing your wave and you're farming, you know, and you're taking towers. But she's not doing either right now, which is kind of weird. You do see a little bit of a scrap happening here. This Jinx getting caught out again. I mean, she does get lanterned out right into a Viego stun. Viego getting the reset, and then we pan top, and there's a scrap happening too, but we're going to continue with this bot fight here. Thresh getting the play, the ultimate coming in, the charm following onto this Lissandra, but Lissandra getting the kill onto this Thresh, and is very, very much alive. Getting this reset here, a 2-4-0 on the side of Cloud Gaming. Lissandra is very, very strong right now. Having that ultimate up, having permanent CC with this Maokai and Lissandra, it's impressive. I mean, Jinx really has to be in the perfect position or she will get blown up like we just saw. But First turret following as well. Aatrox actually won that fight top. Darius reset here. He has to walk. Aatrox is gonna, looks like he might start this Rift Herald. Now he's gonna base. I mean, across the board, very well done by Cloud Gaming to like bounce from that little scrap that they had over the last dragon.
I'm very impressed that top lane fight no one died because like both of them. I'm pretty sure just both of them just tried to out heal each other and then people walked away unscathed.
Right now, Aatrox has like the Sundered Sky, so his healing is a lot better than what it was before when Darius built Bramble.
Yep.
Darius is close to his Triforce. I mean, he does have the axe, but like it's really not gonna like it's not right away. Thresh is caught out here. The root coming in from the Lissandra. I mean, can he get away? He does flash away. He doesn't have Hex Flash, so he will not be moving too much with that F Summoner. I mean, you know, they're just bullet flashes. I mean, the Malignant's coming in from Ari now. We do see first items finally being completed on the side of Bare Minimum with the IE, Malignance, and Redemption. I mean, all very common first items. I'm surprised I didn't see more of like a PD maybe out of the Jinx because it's a little cheaper. But finishing the IE before Ezreal finishes his first item, can't complain about that.
Yeah. I do think a redemption's pretty good. I wasn't expecting redemption first item. I think I was expecting Moonstone, just so that when he shields, he can shield other people. But redemption works too. Like it works both ways, right? Those two items are you always switch around with Ivan jungle with that.
I mean, he's just trying to do what I would like to do. But I do want to note that while Lissandra is 5-0, right? She's down 30 CS right now. So I mean, CS is great. I mean, at a certain point, Ari is if Lissandra wasn't getting all these kills, she'd be really, really behind. So we gotta worry about her farming habits.
Yep.
She's doing real good at CCing, but if starts falling behind, you might see this Ari start to pick up a little more traction. We do have a little bit of a split here. We have 3 on one side, but Lissandra is looking for the flank here. Maybe she'll be able to touch Thresh Jinx, but the Herald does get dropped by Viego, and it's going to be cooling towards that mid. Aatrox is beating the Darius here for this fight. Ivern's pinging to see if he can get some help for Aatrox, but I think Aatrox is going to take that Rift Herald. He's going to take it, and he's not going to take it. The ult coming out from the Maokai here. Will it be able to reach? The World Ender coming out from this Aatrox here. Redemption being dropped already here. Flashes all around. Who is going to be the one that survives first? And we do see Resilient going down, and this Ezreal falls first. Jinx is hyper. Can she get more? The flash coming out from this Maokai here. Darius getting a reset as well. 2-0 on the side of Bare Minimum here, and they get their second dragon of the game. I mean, to be honest, their dragon fights right now have been really, really good. But Cloud Gaming really need to pick a better target than the Ivern or these people that are very sustainable by themselves. I mean, it looks like they weren't able to get the kill on the Jinx, and once Ezreal died, they don't have the DPS that with the Hyper Jinx. I mean, they just can't compete. So, I mean, well done by the side Bare Minimum to take the space that was given to them and execute very flawlessly when it came to re-engaging.
Yeah. I think ulti usage was very bad here from Clown Gaming too, because Clown Gaming they just kind of full centered and they kind of split up targets. Because Ezreal went for Jinx, the others went for Ivern, and then the rest were they're just finding their ones basically in that really clustered fight. And then Darius decided that he can just stack on one person, and Darius kind of controlled that kind of fight just because he's very durable, right? He heals so much out of those fights, so it didn't really matter what was happening to him.
Nah, man. I agree. 100%. We do see a little more of an exchange happening in this top lane here. I mean, the TP coming out from Lissandra. He doesn't hit the Q. I'm surprised she didn't E over the wall to see if that Darius could keep him there. I mean, Aatrox did ultimate. So, I mean, you're kind of trying to make the most out of it. The root coming out under this Ezreal here. Nothing's going to happen. They don't really have the follow-up to, like, do anything about it. Well, I'm yawning. Holy guys. I might be getting tired. Who knew that? That's what that happens. But we have nothing to talk about. We have nothing to do for the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean, Baron's up in a minute, but I don't know if anybody's gonna be taking it right away. So right now is farm time. Can we out-farm the enemy team? Can we get objectives? Can we get towers? We're trying to put pressure on the map.
Mm-hmm. I do agree there. I'm hoping to see that. I'm really hoping to see what Clown Gaming is their next step is to do, right? I think they're looking to just like try to play for second item now, knowing that their first item's kind of failing their spikes, you know. So I'm seeing what kind of fight they take. Well, are they gonna take that kind of scrappy fight again, or are they gonna pick a little bit more? You know, are they waiting for Ezreal? Are they? There's so many things that Clown Gaming can wait for, right? But I'm looking to see what they want to do for their next fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's really gonna come down to that next dragon. I know it's 2.5 minutes away basically, but like the way that Bare Minimum has been playing in these objective fights has been really good for their it has been the staple of why they're still in this game. Like outside of objectives, they've been getting kind of rolled a little bit in those team fights. But when it comes to like objective and they're like, hey, I want this, this is ours. I mean, we're gonna come out. Oh, Lissandra buffered that. It was so
Oh.
close. Very, very. That was like very close to not being able to be. If that E doesn't get recast, she's dead.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
very much dead. The Aatrox Q, first Q is landing. We do see the root coming out. Well, Ari's able to escape it for now. I mean, Maokai ultimate coming out with the Viego on the flank here. Jinx does get lanterned out, but she still does get rooted. Can they follow up here? The Thresh ult's coming out, trying to protect this Jinx. Daisy has now been launched. Jinx is weak, and the reset does happen for this Viego here. Ultimate coming out. Wookie Monster is gonna get shut down by this Ahri here. It's a 1-for-1. Can they get to this backline here before everybody falls? Viego getting another reset onto the Thresh here. Ahri has 2 more charges in her ultimate. Does try to track down this Ezreal and does, and then Ivern cleans up this Viego. Aatrox will rise, but he's a little too late in terms of a fair team fight. But can he somehow get somebody? And Darius shuts that down right away. We have a 4 for 2 on the side of Bare Minimum, and we do have a pause. I don't know how long this pause is going to be because we're a little couple. We obviously have the spectator delay, so hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully it must be a client thing. But it looks like the jungle DC on the side of Cloud Gaming, so we will eventually be back to the action. But right now I'm just seeing really great team fights again around an objective. I mean, I don't think that they're realizing that the sustain on the side of Bare Minimum is very, very good. I mean, they kept Jinx alive for a very long time. Even Viego got the reset, but as soon as he got the reset, he instantly had to flash out. I mean, Ivern shield, Ahri healing from her ultimate and her Q, Darius healing. I still don't see a side on Cloud Gaming has no Grievous wounds right now or no anti-shield. I mean, Aatrox can definitely build anti-shield. Like, I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. But like Lissandra can build Morellos. We could see executioners out of Viego. We could see executioners out of Aatrox, right? Items, I do think Morellos would be very good here. I mean, especially with redemption as well. I don't know. Do you agree, or do you feel like there's something else that they should be doing?
I think they should. Well, on this side for now, right? At the current moment, I really think that since we're getting to the point where Jinx gets kind of too ahead, I don't think there's enough saving around because when Jinx hits that spike of having, it's Mortal Reminder, right? It's
Yeah.
Mortal Reminder for the armor pen one
Component.
Yep. So I'm thinking when he hits Mortal Reminder, it's just gonna be kind of more wraps because like Jinx doesn't really. They're giving a lot of resets towards their carries and how they're fighting it with just Darius and Ivern. That just combination of just like, okay, Darius, just go do your thing, and Ivern's closing that gap for them basically, where Darius has the struggle of going in because he just lands a root, he goes in, they just win those kind of fights, and that's how Bare Minimum's winning. But I think Cloud Gaming, I think they really should wait for, hey, let's wait for our second item. Let's wait for, let's wait for that kind of spike, because if they wait for that spike and they will have a little bit more durability and the Ezreal can start, pewing a little more of his Qs and praying, like that's what I'm trying to see, because this, how Resilient's playing this Ezreal, he's just playing more back and he's just, firing from behind, and he can't do too much because it's like, oh, I don't have enough damage to keep up with this, and then their whole team is just kind of like, oh, they can't keep up with it too. They're like, oh, okay, our DPS is slowly just getting whittled away, because if they don't get Darius, Ari's on the side. They don't get Ari, then Darius goes in with Ivory. So
yeah, no, definitely agree. I'm more. It's just like right now they're even in gold, right? Like, so you should be able to fight evenly. I think they're just trying to kill Jinx, and Jinx isn't the problem anymore. I mean, Jinx is like, she'll get a kill and she'll be hyper or whatever, but like, Ivern has to be your first target. If I agree, if not Darius, if you can kill Darius, but Darius is like, he'll hit his Q. I don't know if it's his Q or it's his I think it is his Q, his spin.
Yep, it's cute.
I mean, yeah, no, his Q. I mean, like he heals a lot. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Bramble or a Morello's on the other side. I mean, you can't kill them without it. Yeah, I mean, the sustain has been too insane. I think it's kind of. I'm surprised that you had so much gold and you haven't done anything with that yet, because you have Aatrox and that's really the only healing, and you have Executioners and you have Bramble on the other side. Yeah, I mean, it's not as much healing just for the Aatrox. So I'm a little surprised, but you know, we are going to be back. I mean, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and we're back in the action. The pause has finally ended. I mean, we're seeing a 0 here, but our game's obviously going to take a couple seconds to get back in. But we'll have to see what the itemization is going forward. I mean, Azrael still doesn't have Muramana yet. He does have Caulfield's and a full stack tier, so eventually it will just automatically upgrade when he gets it, and he'll do a lot more damage. We'll have to see. And we're back. So the Baron is being started. Remember that fight did just happen that went 4 for 2. But Bare Minimums are all back up now. I mean, and there's no way that Diego's going to be still down 9 seconds.
Yeah.
But I mean, off this, hopefully this kind of stems the thing. We do have Dragon up in a minute here. My game is paused, like crashed. Oh no, we're good. We're back. It DC for like 2 seconds. But we're back. This Baron is dead. Okay. Now hopefully they reset here, and we'll have a dragon fight in 40 seconds. So we'll see what Bare Minimum do and what Cloud Gaming do to kind of prepare for.
Oh, I like the item choice of Ari here, going for Horizon's Focus actually instead of Lichbane.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I agree.
It's more bursty there, I think, because like if Horizon Focus hits, she gets to see the whole map at least, and gives her team more utility there for herself, rather than just having Lichbane to have like a bonus attack speed just to hit that one proc.
Yeah. I mean, I like it, yeah, because then they don't have to rely on the auto. They can just throw out the abilities, and it'll do a lot more damage. I think that's a good idea. And then she's able to kite around more. You know, a lot more burst potential, too. But we do see Bare Minimum already have like prio in this river. Like we see again 1 person on one side and 4 on the other for the side. Maokai ultimate does follow through. Thresh tanking. Ivern getting the shield onto 420 here, and Sandra having to use ult on herself instead of somebody else, forcing everybody to back up here. But the re-engage on the side of Bare Minimum, they are doing so much damage with this Ahri and with this Jinx, and they are just falling 1 by 1. Leaving Resilient as the last one alive, as is Ezreal, and he just falls. Dragon, they're just playing in the right chokeholds. It makes it so hard for Cloud Gaming to even want to fight. I mean, the Lissandra was ahead, right? The Viego was ahead for a second. But, right, they're fighting into chokeholds that only Bare Minimum can win. Like, with the Ahri Charms, with the Jinx Rockets, like, and Daisy. I mean, you're fighting into very small chokeholds where they're just like, yeah, we're down to fight by our blue buff. We're good with that. Or we're going to fight by your blue buff. We're going to fight in the jungle. Ivern's friends with all the jungle camps, man. Like, why do you want to fight there? But, like, it's very hard right now for Cloud Gaming to fight when they're fighting in such a closed space.
Yep.
Because then they aren't able to move, like, with the Ezreal shift, with the big AoE Maokai ultimate. I mean, well done by Bare Minimum to be in the right spots and play where they want to play.
And I do agree there. Like even that fight, we just learned like their limits right there, right? Even Cloud Gaming, their fight, that was a really good fight for them, but like that chokehold, and like they just kept Ivern alive, and they target Darius, and Darius did his part. You know, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna last, and then Jinx got to reset. I think the more problem of Darius, it has to be Darius, and Ahri has to fall. Oh, the pick!
All in on Jinx, and then she just heals all of it back up from Redemption and Ivern. Like, like you saw her get to a quarter HP, and Ivern just said, "Yeah, that didn't actually happen. You were dreaming," and that was it. this Aatrox and Darius smacking each other again. We do see the stacks coming out from the Aatrox, but the ultimate coming out from Aatrox here. Will this bear any fruit for this Aatrox? Will this start to happen? The flash Q coming in from Aatrox here. Darius is quite low, but we all know Darius likes to heal. But the empowered auto coming through from Aatrox, securing that solo kill. Viego doing a little bit maneuvering from this tower dive he has here. We have four bare minimum players up here. I mean, they're just gonna keep pushing. They have Baron. They have 5 grubs. I mean, now they get to do the pushing this game. Crusader gets hooked here by this Thresh. A great Thresh hook into a Jinx kill. I mean, just a great hook. Nothing to say there. I mean, Lysandra being up a little too far, and Thresh made her pay. Oh, and almost another amazing Thresh hook. That was like 2 centimeter pixels away from Ezreal dying. I mean, this Thresh knows what he's doing, and he's been hitting great hooks all game long. Another hook onto this Maokai here. The Maokai does get CC'd long enough. Will he escape? Jinx getting another kill here. Finally positive on the KDA, being able to climb back. And she's looking for more here. This Ezreal is going to get tracked down. Viego getting the stun onto this Jinx, but the redemption coming through. Will Viego be able to? The heal finally coming through on the side of bare minimum, and Viego is now on the run. Prey will now be the hunted. The hunter will now become the hunted. Holy. Thresh ultimate coming out here. They are trying to see if they can track down this Jinx. The Lysandra ultimate coming out, and plus the Zanya's here won't be enough. Viego being able to finish this Thresh. The World Ender on the Aatrox is coming through. Lysandra does get finally taken down by this Ahri. Ultimate coming out from the Ahri as well. Should be able to track down this Viego if she can hit another ability here. Viego finally gets away. The charm finally landing onto this Aatrox. Ahri still has 1 ultimate charge left. Using the flash first, using the ult to kite back. Ezreal does get launched, but it is wide. And it is a 2. I mean, a lot of people died there. I'm real. Ezreal is back up, but Ezreal died. Sandra is now down. You know, the Darius fell as well in the solo kill fight. You know, like, it's going even right now. And the thing is, bare minimum is scaling. They're outscaling this Cloud Gaming team that was ahead, that did get that 3 kills early. They have now gotten to the point where they just have better items. They have more gold. They just seem like they know what they want to do with their comp. It's a completely shift of last game's theme, but it's just a tad bit closer than last time. But it's obviously the sides are flipped, and bare minimum's ahead.
Oh yeah, that was like just a solid 3 minutes of bare minimum, just saying like, "Hi, we are ahead. We're going to show you that we are ahead." You know, we have characters that are if they get a lead, they're just gonna push. And I do like how I like how this Jinx trusted the Ivern. Like, hey, you just tank, I'll tank for you. You just shield me, and we just run it. And now Ivern is like the biggest problem in their team because no one can get to the Ivern because everyone's trying to kill someone else. You know.
Mm-hmm. Now they're another fight where they feel like they can just win. The Baron fight, Cloud Gaming have no vision in this Baron. They just dropped the pink orb. Now they can see 5,000 on here. Viego looking to steal the TP coming out from this Aatrox here, pushing bare minimum out. In the redemption following, the Baron's still at 4,000. It is recharging. Lysandra ultra coming out here, getting the slow down. Does Thresh fall? He will be the first to fall to this. The Darius falling to the Lysandra here. Ahri doing the trade onto this Ezreal, but gets rooted by Lysandra. Aatrox is able to finish it off. Then we do see a Viego reset onto this Thresh. The threshold does not land, but can they get more? The Ivern does fall to this Aatrox, and Aatrox is just healing. They're going to fight under this tower. They're going to make sure somebody dies. I mean, Jinx does get the Lysandra, and the tower does fall, but it's just not enough. The Aatrox healing was so nuts, especially with the Sterix shield. He hit that 3rd item. He came in confident, and once Darius fell, it made the fight a lot more playable for this Cloud Gaming team, because like they continue. They don't have to worry about the sustain of the top laner and the damage that Darius does. Because Darius gets 1 ultimate, then that fight becomes drastically different. I mean, well done. I mean, to find like a timing to go in. I'm a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie that they won that fight, but well done.
Yeah, that was very well done. That fight was like, that was just Viego and Aatrox just like saying, "Hey, we got this. Just trust me. Let's go." And then we saw how Ezreal was on the flank, and they were like, "Oh, we have to kill Ezreal." And then Viego and Aatrox were like, "Okay, if Ahri's not gonna focus us, we're just gonna run in. We're just gonna cause your team to trade for that." And then that was a really good trade for Cloud Gaming, right? Trading their ADC for the rest of their team. Oh, that hook!
That hook was nuts.
Woo.
Oh, they're all automatically on this track. This is sole point here. Maokai ultimate
Oh.
coming out. I'm surprised he had it. The Daisy is to follow, but the root does fall onto all of them. The Lissandra ult is huge. That damage, just being able to ult herself and do damage with that Malignance. Now Aatrox is going to try to find this Ahri. The Q does buffer outside of that charm. Well done by the Lissandra. I'm not gonna lie. Like, well, the CC is great from the Maokai, and the follow-up was amazing. Lissandra using the ultimate on herself, right? Obviously, it doesn't CC, but it provides a slow, does damage, and the Malignance as well. I mean, it's hitting 4 people.
Oh,
It
this
does so
Ezreal.
much damage. This Ezreal now having that mana mute does a lot of damage, but Jinx is very low, and the Q does fall right before Jinx gets the kill as well. So the no hyper, and it's a 2 versus 1, just the Thresh. I mean, the hook does land on the Maokai. Is he going to try to throw him into this turret? It doesn't look like it, and this bottom inhib is falling. See, that lead that Bare Minimum was building starting to crumble a little bit. 2 fights not going their way when one of them is a Baron. This could be a very close game here. A close ending, and it's going to be a race to the finish. Aatrox world entering here, but he is in the hook of play as well. Being targeted by 2 towers, trying to get away here. The root falling onto this Maokai, but I don't think anybody's going to die here. They're just going to walk out. But an inhib, a dragon, and a Baron off 2 fights. I mean, you have to be a little scared if you're Bare Minimum. I mean, like, you were just ahead.
Now that Cloud Gaming just said, "Hey, Uno reverse card. This is our turn."
I mean, like, 2 fights just went the side of Cloud Gaming, and they're 4,000 gold ahead again.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
that's insane.
Oh.
I mean, that stance on Aatrox though definitely
Yeah.
helping with like him getting 1 reset, and then he just heals right back up, and Sterix keeps him alive for a little bit longer, and Sundered Sky healing. I really like the wit's end out of Diego having that tenacity. I mean, and the magic damage, keeping him alive from this, especially the Ahri and the Thresh. With that, the tenacity is very, very huge because they just have a bunch of different CC types.
Yep.
I mean, definitely not complaining. Love the wits. I wonder what Lissandra's gonna do. It might be a Shadow Flame or possibly a Rabs. I think Shadow Flames makes sense. I think if she wants to do it, but either or would be fine. She actually
I
opted
think-
for Merc Treads as well. So like she just realizes that Ahri is a problem. Merc Treads, I love it.
I don't think Banshees is wrong here either, though. Because
Banshee's
for Lissandra, yeah, right. That's like, so she doesn't have to ult herself, because that's the big problem that she's facing, right? She has to keep ulting herself instead of somebody. So I think if she just gets Banshees, just for that. Oh, the Aatrox going in.
Landing on the Aatrox, the World Ender coming out. I mean, Daisy is following with the redemption, but will it be enough healing? I mean, they can't really attack under this tower. The Lissandra getting hooked, using her Zanyas here to keep her alive. Will she be able to ultimate in time? The ultimate does come out. She is healing, and the fight is continuing in the blue after Lissandra will fall. Jinx is hyper here, so we have to keep that in mind. We do see the W fall onto this Aatrox. Darius is coming through onto this Maokai here. The sun falling from the Viego. That's already TPing back in. They're like, this is our fight now. But they aren't able to get anything further unless a crazy CC chain happens. Ezreal getting hit by the W, but able to shift away. The fact that Lissandra was the only one to get picked there, it looks like it will be a Rabadon's as well. The fact that she was the only one to get picked there was insane. I mean, like,
Oh, Clown Gaming actually just like saved themselves right there. If that Maokai dropped or anything, they would just have been all right, instantly run at their base. We have 2 members up, right?
that EQ is nuts. We do see Viego is on the flank here. I mean, the World Ender coming back out, and Aatrox has gotten 1 kill. Can they get more? Ivern is half HP, forced to flash there. Ahri using her ultimate as well to get away. Will she go back in trying to get the charm onto the Aatrox? I mean, she hits the charm, but Aatrox is just way too tanky right now. I mean, he's a 4-item Aatrox, and he got a reset. I mean, I'm not messing with the Aatrox. Darius is bot, and he's really the only person that can deal with Aatrox one-on-one. I mean, Ezreal is here. We do see the Daisy keeping this Cloud Gaming team at bay. I mean, will it be enough? We'll have to see. I mean, this dragon is coming up in a minute. This is going to be a huge dragon. I mean, if Bare Minimum get it, they have the soul point. But if Cloud Gaming can just keep pushing them off soul point and just keep making this game go longer and longer, they're fighting team fights just way better now with the items they have. They realize, I'm like, okay, this is our win con. As Lissandra, I'm going to stop ulting one single person. I'm going to opt for more of the damage build when it comes to ulting myself. I mean, I'm liking what Lissandra's been doing. I'm liking the Maokai's following up. This Ezreal is now getting the items he needs to do the damage because that he was lacking in the first couple of objective fights. And Cloud Gaming is on a roll right now, and they're looking for it looks like they're looking for a pick.
Well, this is very good here. Maokai scouting first.
Oh,
Oh,
channel.
oh,
Looks like Viego, what? They almost got to him. They're clearing all this space, though, and Darius has to keep clearing that bottom wave. Like, eventually, he's going to walk up, but do see Aatrox here being the pull onto this thresh. They're not really not going to go in on Aatrox. Ezreal does get hooked here. The flash, the E, the shift, but he is down. And Jinx's hyper, the redemption coming through. Ultimate's flying from the side of bare minimum. Ari ult, Ivern ult. I mean, now, but we still have the wave pushing bot. That bot wave is still pushing. Viego's gonna see if he can get over this wall, possibly get a dragon steal here. It's at 2,000. Viego ult on the wall and smites it. There is no soul to the side of bare minimum, and we see a fight coming down. The Aatrox has got the kill on the Jinx. The Jinx is down. Repeat, the Jinx is down, but who is going to be falling next? Maokai getting the shift onto this Dira, but Darius gets the reset. But it doesn't matter because Ari is down in Thresh follows the Aatrox kill. Ivern seems to be the next person. Darius beats him to it though, and now Ivern is the last to die, and we see a TP into base, and that will be game. I mean, with nobody up for Cloud Game or bare minimum, they put up a really good fight. They put up a amazing fight, but it just wasn't enough. One Aatrox reset into a one Viego reset, and it didn't matter that Ezreal was mine. It did once Jinx falls and once Ari's gone, you're really not gonna rely on Darius to win that game. That was an amazing game. I mean, 27 kills apiece, definitely a different change of pace from what we saw in game one.
oh yeah.
4,500 gold difference. That did not seem like a gold difference game. I know I talked about it a couple times, but like, to be honest, that game felt so close. Like, that was one smite away from having Ocean Soul for your team, but Cloud Gaming just did like so good at like fighting back. Like, they were ahead, but then we were talking like, yeah, this is kind of tough for them. Like, they're down a lot of gold right now, but they were kind of in the same position as what bare minimum was in game one. But then they fought back, and then the drags became even at that fight. But they realized that they were like, we got to stop fighting by a bare minimum rule and in these choke points. We need to change the way we're approaching these fights with the Lissandra ultimate and the Maokai and our CC, and choosing better targets. I mean, once Aatrox got into the Jinx, it was just like, what is Jinx gonna do? Nothing. It doesn't matter. Aatrox was 4 item. I mean, exciting, so exciting. What do you think?
This game was just like the turnaround was crazy. Like, we're like bare minimum, they're like first like 20 minutes was like, okay, right, they got, they really want to fight for this, and then all of a sudden one team fight goes wrong, and then we just see Clown Gaming like, hey, this is our game now, we just step up. They just decided that, they were like, I'm him, and then or them, and I was like, they just went in and then they just started winning. And like, I just don't know. Like, I really want to respect the ADCs for Clown Gaming, because if Ezreal Resilient didn't just walk in sometimes just to not give like Viego or Aatrox the reset, then they would not have won so many of those fights. Like, there's just times where I'm just like, why is Ezreal here? And then Ezreal just did his job. Where like Ari was like, oh, I have to go get Ezreal, and then they just lose those kind of important team fights because they lose their big damage output.
Yeah, no, Ezreal did a lot of good job. I think he just assumed the role of like the pin cushion. And he was like, look, I'm probably going to get targeted because I've been misplaying a little bit, but I have a really good team that follows up. I mean, Viego stun, like Lissandra root and Lissandra ult, and then Maokai, you know what I mean, does his own thing. But then Aatrox is like, actually, I'm the real damage carry here. Watch out. And Aatrox was 1-3. Like, he started 1-3. He was very much behind. Jinx did the highest damage game at 53,000 damage, and the next highest was that Aatrox at like a little under 40k. Like, Jinx did a lot. Jinx was like, if Jinx looked like she was going to steamroll the game away. But she had to build. She chose to build executioners first, like fully. And like I said, there was only one healer on the side of like one person that relies on healing, and it's that Aatrox. I mean, he built Death Dance and Sundered Sky, obviously 2 items he likes to build a lot. But like, you built a full item, but you probably wanted to get like PD or Runeon's Hurricane before you finish that item. A lot of people just choose to build that like component first, and I think that's always a good thing. Is like Morellis becomes like the last item or the 4th or 5th. I think it delayed the Jinx build, which might have resulted in her not being able to steamroll the game like she wanted. But I think Clown Gaming just played their way. I love the way they adapted in the game. It was so fun to see because everybody was down, and then you get back and they're like, they just won Baron Dragon and got an inhib. Like this is very much their game, and I'm glad. I mean, I think if I were to give an MVP, I'm a little biased. I'm gonna say that Lysandra was nuts. I mean, she's 7-18 and 17, right? Very high KP, like highest KP in the game when it comes to like anybody, I think, pretty sure, like 24 out of 27.
Oh
That's
yeah.
nuts. Like support had 23. I mean, very, very close. But like those ultimates meant so much because they like the damage from that malignance, I mean, and the slow, making it easier to hit the CC, keeping Ezreal alive, the roams early. I would probably say Lysandra and the solo laners just did a really good job. But I mean, obviously it's a team game, so everybody did their. I
I
mean,
do
yeah,
I do agree with you there, right? I think mid lane did take it because like that Lysandra took so much out of the whole fights. Like every time that Lysandra was getting targeted, it was like, oh, I just zone you myself, I ult myself, and then their whole team just like on bare minimum, they were like, okay, we use so much just to get just to get denied twice. They used a lot of that, and that's what like, and then Lysandra was like, okay, I can just you know, use my assist as my slow, my passive, all these other like things just for CC wise, just for them to just catch up and kill them all on the side of Clown Gaming for that. Yeah.
no, I love a good Lysandra. I mean, Lysandra is like not in meta, but she was so perfect for what they wanted to do. I mean, she was 5-0. She ended up like dying a bunch, right? Because she's like at some point Lysandra is like, she's like, I really don't matter too much when it comes to KDA. Like, I'm here for pure CC. And she knew that, and she went in, and a lot of mid laners just don't want to do that. They don't want to die. They want to have the perfect KDA. They wanted the perfect CC or CS amount, and they want to be winning and just dominating, right? But she kind of put that, Pokemon kind of put that aside, and was like, hey, I'm a CC for this Aatrox and this Viego, and Maokai, you're gonna follow me, and we're gonna win the game. And that's exactly what they did. So I mean, props to them. They're gonna now the number one ranked team in their division. I mean, so definitely something to like be happy about. But like I talked about almost on every stream, it's very hard to learn from a win. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But this one feels a little different because of how close game two was. Like, why did game two early game happen the way it did for Clown Gaming? Like, they had like the 3 kills, but then they instantly fell behind. So we gotta like maybe something to look at there. But on the other side, for bare minimum, I don't think this is like game one. Obviously, was rough. But game two, like you just gotta look at the end game and be like, okay, we had the win, we were doing great. What happened? I mean, both teams have something to look at here, which I find is so interesting when it comes into a 2-0 series. Yeah, I mean, like usually it's either like one team has something to look at,
Hmm.
the other's like, okay, we just dominated. It's great. Like 2-0 is good, but both teams can learn something from this. I'm excited. They're probably going to face each other again, and it might be different next time around. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I do. I do want to see this again, right? I do
Yeah.
want to see. I actually do want to watch more of bare minimum just because of those games. Like they actually came back very hard from their first game. Like that first game was like very hard to be hard to bounce back from. Right? They got like completely just like they just got rolled from like 8 minutes forward, right? Because they had their Aurora that just stopped Wukong. They had their bot lane. Their bot lane was coming back slowly, but then they're missing a lot of the components there. And then that, I think, just like mentally wise, I think bare minimum's really strong for just like, hey, game two, we got this. And then they completely turned their script around, not having like, they're like, it's a new game, start fresh, and they just started just running their thing like, oh yeah, this is how we want to play. And that's a really good showing for bare minimum. Like they're contenders to be like, hey, we're not some team that's just gonna get rolled over. We're gonna show that we can play the game too. So
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just looking at the scoreboard. I mean, I agree with all the things you were saying about bare minimum and like watching them. I think they'll be very entertaining. I was just looking at the gold before we had eye here, and it's like the game was 27-27 when it comes to kills. I mean, 7 assist difference. Aatrox had basically a 4,500 gold lead. He was basically the gold difference between the two teams over this Darius. And the Darius played amazing, but Aatrox just like got all the shutdowns late, and that was the difference. So I just thought that would be a quick little like a stat. I'm not trying to down the Darius. I just want to applaud that Jace for playing really well in the stretch. But I
yeah,
think that's it. I don't know for sure if I know we were streaming another game tonight on LXC2. I don't know if it's still going or not. But if it is, I mean, we're done here. You guys know the score here, so definitely go check them out if they're still live. And if not, we'll be back Thursday for our Masters Masters League, you know. So you guys come check it out. Those games are amazing. I mean, definitely a good spot for the teams that are in the lower divisions to learn and
Mhm.
watch like people at a higher level and maybe how they draft. Maybe something to tell your coaches. Not my team. Don't tell me how to draft. I'm doing it myself. But I draft amazing. They'll tell you. But anyway, we're done here. I mean, unless Loveline has something to say, I think we're all good. I think we're
Huh?
set.
I don't got much to say. I mean, I hope we get a cast again together.
Well, that'd be great. If you guys want us back, let us know in the chat. You know, let us know in the Discord and the Twitch channel. We'll make it happen. You know, but we're gonna be sending a raid to the other stream. You guys hype it up. You know what I mean? Cheer on NLE because I mean that's who I coach for. You know, I'm rooting for him. But good luck to both teams. We'll see you guys soon. Come back Thursday.
Y'all.